Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Pumorama, and in today's video, I will be talking about the newly buffed air freight business in Grand Theft Auto Online. For the longest time, air freight has been an extremely mediocre and probably the worst business in the game, down to the fact that you made about $10,000 per source. And the bigger problem with air freight is that as a solo player, it is a much worse business than if you have other friends to help you out. For example, if I'm solo and I source a crate, it's only going to give me one crate. However, if I'm playing with 4 people in my CEO and I do a source mission, it's going to source me 4 crates. What that meant is that I could make $40,000 every 5-ish minutes, or I could make $10,000 every 5-ish minutes, depending on how many people I had helping me. That is a huge different. However, in the latest update of Grand Theft Auto Online for the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC, air freight just got insanely good. Its payout was tripled. And what that means is, as a solo player, instead of getting $10,000 a crate, now you are getting $30,000 per crate. That is absolutely huge and a much better payout than what it previously was, because as well, the more crates you stack up, the more of a bonus percentage you get, which gives you even more extra money. Now, if you have 4 people helping you, or 3 people helping you, because you're one included, that means that you are going to be making $120,000 every source. That is absolutely massive. But it's even better than that, because if you're only sourcing narcotics, medical supplies, or chemicals, your bonus is 70% when you do the sale mission. So what that means is that you're actually making $50,000 per crate instead of $30,000. So if there's 4 people doing sourcing, that means you're making $200,000 every 8 minutes. That would mean that if we divide 60 by 8, we would get 7.5 sources per hour. Multiply that by the 200,000, and you're making $1.5 million every hour if you have 3 people helping you with air freight. That is absolutely insane. Now, you might be wondering why I divided 60 by 8. I would say that it takes about 8 minutes to do a full cargo source, from starting it to doing the source and then waiting the 3-minute cooldown, because you don't want to source 2 separate cargoes, as your bonus percentage payout is going to be decreased. So what that technically means is that air freight cargo, if you have 3 people helping you, is the best business in the game. It makes the most money out of every business, because that's $1.5 million an hour without adding in any passive businesses like the nightclub, the new acid lab, the bunker, all the motorcycle clubs. That is huge amounts of money. You could be making over $2 million an hour if you had 3 friends helping you. But that's if you have 3 people helping you, which obviously is very rare and not normally the case. A lot of us are solo players. So instead of doing the math for 3 people, how about we do it as if you're a solo player? So that payout goes from $200,000 every source with 4 people down to $50,000 as a solo player every source. Again, we're going to multiply that 50,000 by 7.5, as it's going to take about 8 minutes on average per source. So 50,000 times 7.5 means you're going to be making, not nearly as much, $375,000 every single hour. That means that air freight cargo is still pretty lame in my personal opinion. Why? Well, we took a look at vehicle cargo yesterday, and vehicle cargo will make you $130,000 every car. And you can guarantee with vehicle cargo that you can sell each car as a top range if you fill your warehouse correctly. And what that means is that if you're doing $130,000 every sale mission with the high demand bonus, which is incredibly easy to do, takes no time at all, and we multiply that by the 3 amount of sale missions you can do every hour, you're going to make $390,000 every hour. So that's where the problem occurs, is that you're actually making more money per hour doing vehicle cargo than you are with air freight, which in my opinion defeats the whole purpose. Why would you spend a lot more effort sourcing these cargo crates, flying off into the distance, and then grabbing this crate and then coming back? And like some of them where you gotta like rendezvous with the Titan takes like 10 minutes, and there's some where you gotta go all the way up in the altitude, jump out of the Titan, and then kill a bunch of guards without detecting them, and if you do detect them, you're gonna be murdered like 50 times. To me, air freight cargo is still one of the worst businesses in Grand Theft Auto Online. Yes, if you have 3 people, 4 including yourself, doing the sources, then it's an absolutely amazing business because you multiply that 50,000 by 4. But if you're a solo player, then that's not the case. It's still an absolutely horrific solo business. Would I suggest to partake in it? No, not really. The only good thing I'll say about air freight is that you don't lose money if something blows up. For example, vehicle cargo, you lose $20,000 if your vehicle gets blown up by a griefer or gets shot at by AI. You can lose a max of $20,000 because that's how much a top range vehicle costs to upgrade. And when it comes to special cargo, you are going to lose upwards of $600,000 if you fully upgrade your business. And that's really for every business apart from the nightclub, which sources things for basically free. Every other business like the weed, the acid lab, all the bunker, all that. If you source supplies for $75,000, you're losing that amount of money if it gets destroyed. When it comes to air freight cargo, you're not losing any money because you're sourcing it for free. So there is that big advantage that air freight cargo does have over the other businesses. However, I do not feel like that is a big enough advantage to actually make air freight cargo good. If there was no cooldown for the chemicals or whatever you're sourcing, then I think it would be great because that would save you 3 minutes, and then you could probably make about $600,000-$700,000 every hour. But because there is a cooldown, I basically mathed out that you could be making around the same money doing life and death bikes as you could be doing air freight cargo. Because life and death bikes was recently nerfed. Rockstar, the last updated GTA, had a double payout when it came to biker club missions. That payout no longer exists. So instead of making like 72,000 or whatever you do for life and death bikes, now you make like 40,000 or something. But while the payout is not as good, you're still making $40,000 every like 5 to 4 minutes, and it's instantaneous. So essentially, you can buy a motorcycle clubhouse for $200,000 and make more money per hour than you can buying an entire hangar. The only thing that I will say that is nice about the hangar is that you can use your vehicles for it. It's really the only time I find myself using my personal vehicles, but that's really the only nice thing is that you can buy and store upgradable, super cool flying vehicles inside your hangar. That's the only way to do it. So, final opinions on the air freight cargo is that don't actually do it. While it was massively buffed in a way that still didn't make it that viable of a business. Yes, the payouts are absolutely huge. You can see 2 charts here. One is before and one is after on the amount of money you make when you do a full on sale mission. But don't even get me started on the sale mission because some of them, like the Havocs, I think it's like 6 Havocs can spawn or something absolutely stupid. Yeah, if you're a solo player and you do fill up your cargo all the way to the top as air freight, which you want to because obviously you get a higher percentage, you can get some sale missions that are absolutely dreadful and have upwards of 4 vehicles that you're not going to have enough time to sell with. So again, keep that in mind. Either way, I personally would not suggest to do air freight. Even though big YouTubers like TGG are going on, it's great and stuff, nah, it's not. As a solo player, it is not a good business to grind with. I think that doing the Dr. Dre mission solo is a lot better. It's going to make you a lot more money. Doing vehicle cargo is way better solo after the buff, and as well, doing really any business is better than this. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Let me know if I missed anything. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.